In this lesson, we are going to learn about intervals. Let's take a look at page 28. An interval is a gap between two notes. You can see here, an interval is the distance between two notes. So the smallest interval you can find is the unison, which is from the same note to the same note. This is from C to C. It's written in the same space or the same line. So this one's a D to D. Now let's take a look at page 29. Here all the intervals are given to us from unison and then an interval of second. You can easily spot them from line to space or space to line. We count the interval from the lowest note to the higher note. Interval of second. Here's a line to space. The lowest note is a G, higher note is a A. So they are next door neighbors on your keyboard. This one's a F to G. Again, they are next door neighbors. So you always want to count the alphabet up from the lowest note to the higher note. Then the interval of third. That is a very easy interval to spot. Here you can see it going from line to the next line up. From line to line, or it can be from space to space. The interval of fourth is a little tricky, but you can also think of it like one step up from an interval of third. If your note is written in a space, like here, go from space to the next space, and then you go up one step from there. Again, this one's G to C. So you count the alphabet G, A, B, C. There will be 4 notes up. Here also, this one's in treble clef. We have F to B. If you count 4 steps up from F, F, G, A, B. So we have another 4 steps. Okay, so that's the interval of fourths. And the interval of fifths is the next easiest one to remember. If your bottom note is on a line, you skip the next line up. If the lowest note is on a space, you go skip the next space up. So it's space, skip, space, or line, skip, line. So let's go to the next one. That's an octave we have. So the highest interval we can find is 8 steps up. So you'll always land on the same letter name. We call it a special name. We call it an octave. If you count 8 steps up from any key, you'll always come to the same letter. So this one's G here, going up an octave to another G. So if you actually count G along the alphabet, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Up to the next G, you'll find 8 steps up. Here's another one. And F to F. So you count F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. There's also 8 steps up from one F to the other F. So I hope that's clear about intervals. Understand the gap between them. We can instantly play 2 notes at the same time without even thinking too much about it. Let's take a look at your exercises on page 28. Exercise 1. Name the following intervals by counting up the notes. All you have to do is draw the lowest note and the highest note, and let's see how many notes are in between to find out the distance. We are starting on a F. The next note is a G. Next note will be an A. Next note will be a B. Next one is a C. Next one will be a D. Now let's count up the notes and see. From F to F there should be an octave up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes should be there. F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. So you can count with your fingers. There will always be 8 steps up. Let's take a look at the next one. Have a C as our lower note. and we are climbing up to this note. It's our highest note, that's a G. So after C comes D, after D, E, F to G. So let me just draw the G up here, move it closer to each other and erase this. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps up from C to G. So this is an interval of fifths. So once you're done with this exercise, let's go to number 2. Name the following intervals by counting up the notes. This time you have to name the notes. So carefully take a look at the gap of each note. Always count from the lowest note to the highest note, and then double check your answers. Now this is in the bass clef. This one's a G going up to another G. So G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I have 8 notes up. So we can call this an octave. So another way to double check this is if your letter name is the same from G to G or D to D or E to E, you will always find an octave. For an octave, although it's the same letter name, but we are playing 2 different G's here. Now look at the next one up here. This is a G to G, which is written on the second line. That is the same key. We are playing it twice. So that is the smallest interval that you can find, which we call a unison. So let's go to the next one. Here we have a C to G. So let's count the alphabet from C to G. C, D, E, F, G. We have 5 steps up. Then take a careful look at the next one. Here is your lowest note, that's a F. Here is your higher note, that's on the first line, that's a G. So your notes are F to G. If you count the alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So F and G are next to each other. It's an interval of second. I hope you can complete this exercise by yourself and send your answers up to page 29. See you next week. Have a good time.